Hello everyone and welcome back. My name is Shaunneka and today I'll be guiding you through a requested Yin Yoga sequence. So this sequence that was requested is a sequence for cyclists. If you are a cyclist, you ride a bike, maybe you own a Peloton, whatever it might be, this is going to be the perfect complement to your cycling practice. So this class is going to be really beneficial for the groin, the hips, and the glutes. And even if you are not a cyclist, if you're looking to reap the benefits of this practice, I would highly recommend it. It is going to be a little bit more intense, but at the end of the practice, we will have a nice treat to really relax us and get us kind of mellowed out. So for this practice, you're going to need a block, and we will go ahead and get started. Our first posture will be a melting heart. So finding an all fours position, you want to make sure that your hips are in line with your knees. And from here, you're simply going to walk your hands out as far as you can. And for this one, I would recommend bringing your arms out wide into more of a V shape. So instead of coming forward to come down, you're looking to send your hips back and lead with your chest to come all the way down onto the mat. So really just trying to melt the chest into the mat. And what I like to do sometimes is grab a hold of the sides of my mat just for a little bit of leverage. And the option is also there to bring forehead to the mat as well. Coming into our last few breaths here. Last two breaths. Nice big inhale, fill up. And sigh it out. One more inhale. And exhale. Gently push into your palms to lift the chest. Come all the way forward and just onto the belly for a moment. Stack palm on palm and let the forehead rest. Lifting the gaze from here, bring your hands beside you, push into your palms, coming all the way back up to a tabletop. So that pose right there, melting heart, really beneficial, especially if you're on a bike and you're leaning forward. That's just a nice pose to help open up the chest a little bit. So now we'll work into the legs. So from your tabletop position, grabbing your block, in case you decide to use it, and have it handy at the top of the mat. So we'll step the left foot through. So you're going to bring the left foot to the outside of the left pinky finger. And once you have that position, tuck your right toes under, pick up your right knee, and shimmy it back only as much as is comfortable for you. So you want to make sure that your knee is in line with your ankle. However, if it goes slightly beyond, that's also okay. You're going to turn your left big toe diagonally so that it's pointing at a 45. And then just coming on to the palms. And sometimes it's nice to just find a little bit of a sway here. Just allowing the body to prep, to get warm for what's to come. And the key in this pose is to let the belly go. So stick out your belly. We have a tendency to tighten and tense, and just allow everything to be soft. You can let the head drop as well. And really bringing your awareness into all of those areas of tension. Might not just be one area. Using the breath to find space and length in these areas. So if you're looking to go a little bit deeper, and only if that feels good for you, you can grab your block and you're going to bring it on a diagonal and come down onto your forearms. So you're leaning away from your left knee. You just want to make sure that the left knee doesn't come with you. And again, the belly is soft. Noticing if you're clenching your teeth or maybe pushing the tip of your tongue into the roof of your mouth. Relax the jaw. Maybe even if you have to flutter the lips. Coming into our last few breaths here, you can stay on the block or you can remove the block. Come all the way down onto your forearms. Last 2 breaths here. Fill up. Really allow that belly to swell. And sigh it out. One more inhale. And exhale. So if you were all the way down, push up into your palms. Bring your palms so that they're back to center and point your toes back towards the top of the mat. Tuck your right toes under, shimmy your right knee in just a little bit. Take the block, place it underneath your left sit bone, and sit all the way back. If this is uncomfortable, you can always just sit back and swing both legs forward. Just taking a moment here. And from here, opening the eyes, and we'll set ourselves up for the other side. So we're removing the block and bringing it to the top left corner of the mat this time. Before we begin, maybe just want to stretch out that left leg behind you and the right. From the tabletop position that you're in, you're going to step the right foot to the outside of the right pinky finger. You're then going to turn your right big toe on a 45 so that it's pointing on a diagonal. Tuck your left toes under and shimmy your left knee back as much as is comfortable for you. And again, you're looking to stack the knee on top of the ankle, but if it comes slightly beyond, that is okay. You just don't want the knees coming beyond the toes or you'll miss the stretch. Beginning here on palms, belly is soft. You can drop the head. You can also find a little bit of that movement here if that feels better. If you'd like to go a little bit further, you can take that block and bring it on a diagonal so that you're coming down onto your forearms, not in front of you, not coming down straight in front of you, but coming down on the side. And just making sure that your right knee doesn't come with you. So doing it this way is just a nice way to find a different angle, stretch through the groin. And maybe flutter the lips to relax the jaw. And just keeping in mind, if at any time during this practice it becomes too much, you can always come back up onto your palms. So coming into our last few breaths here, you can stay on the block, or you can remove the block and come onto your forearms. Really trying to slow down the breath. Really trying to find comfort in the discomfort you might be feeling. Although the discomfort should never be painful. Let's take our last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale, feel the belly swell up. And on the exhale, release. One more inhale. And exhale. Let's go ahead and push into the palms. Bring the right toes so that they're pointing back towards the top of the mat. Grab the block with your left hand and place it underneath your right sit bone. So when you sit back, that right leg is straight. And just take a moment here before we continue. Gently opening the eyes from here, removing the block, and we will set ourselves up for our next posture, which will be a straddle, wide-legged fold. So bringing your legs as wide as they can go for you, keeping your block handy if you decide to use it. So in Yin Yoga, we're not looking to flex the quads and engage the kneecaps or flex the feet. You want everything to be nice and soft. So if the feet drop in, just allow them to drop in. Take a nice big inhale here. And on your exhale, gently coming forward any amount. Just taking it easy upon entry. And if you listen closely, the body will tell you when it's ready to go further or go deeper. Just noticing those tiny micro openings that are happening for you. Very subtle. If you have the block, you can even use the block to place underneath your forehead. And really let the forehead sink into the block. Coming into our last few breaths here, the option is always there to go a little bit deeper if you would like. For these last few breaths, let's take our last two breaths here. Nice big inhale. And side out. One more inhale. And exhale. Gently push into the palms. Come all the way back up. Just stay here for a moment. And when you're ready, you can gently squeeze the quads, squeeze the back of the hamstring, and gently close the legs, bend the knees, wrap your arms around your knees, and just rock from side to side. Moving on to our backs from here. I'm going to lay all the way down. From here, pushing into your feet. pick up your hips and slide the block underneath your sacrum. So it's that nice flat piece of bone. You don't want the block digging into your low back, and you don't want your bum hanging off the block either. So it's that nice flat piece of bone. Might need to adjust. Once you found that sweet spot, extend the left leg straight down onto the mat and bend the right knee in towards the chest. And this can also be done without the block if you are uncomfortable on the block. So on every exhale, you want to think about drawing that knee in just a little bit closer towards the chest. Inhale, the knee moves slightly away. And exhale to draw in. Last few breaths here. Taking our last two breaths. Nice big inhale. And sigh it out. Last one, inhale, squeeze in. And exhale. Gently release the grip, bringing the sole of the right foot to the mat. And bring the left foot to meet the right. And you might need to readjust, reset the block. And we'll do the other side. So extending the right leg this time straight down onto the mat, bending the left knee in towards the chest. Last few breaths here. On the exhale, really trying to draw that knee in closer to the chest. Inhale, the knee moves away. And exhale to draw in. Last two breaths. Inhale and exhale. One more inhale and exhale. Gently release the grip, bringing the sole of the left foot to the mat. And we're just going to extend the left leg out wide and the right leg out wide. So bring your legs nice and wide. Bring your arms up overhead. Just take a nice long body stretch here. Maybe you shimmy your hips from side to side. That might feel good. Flex and point your toes. And again, bend the knees. Bring the soles of the feet to the mat. Push into the feet. Pick up the hips. Remove the block. And set the hips back down. So we work through the groin, we work the chest and the back, and we work through the inner seam of the hamstring. So now we're going to target the glutes. So drawing the knees in towards the chest from here. Just gently rock the knees from side to side. Making our way into a twist. So with your knees drawn in, you're just going to go ahead and drop both knees over towards the right. Cactusing your left arm, and you can gently place your right hand on top of the left knee. Push into your right elbow, pick up your chest, and rotate your chest towards the ceiling. So if you'd like to go a little bit further than this, the knee that's bent underneath you, you're just going to draw it behind you and grab a hold of your foot with your left hand. So that now we are in a cat pulling tail variation. If you want more of a stretch for your outer left glute, you would extend that left leg straight with keeping a slight bend in the knee. So stretching the top of the quad and into the outer left glute. Coming into our last few breaths here. Taking our last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. And sigh it out. One more inhale. And exhale. Gently release the grip of the right foot. Extend the right leg back down on the mat. Bend the left knee back in towards the chest. Keep the left knee bent and extend the right leg straight down onto the mat. Might need to readjust and just take a moment here. Bend the right knee to meet the left, draw the knees in, and again, gentle circles on the low back. Rocking from side to side. And we will repeat this on the other side. So drawing your knees in towards your chest, and this time dropping both knees all the way over to the left. Cactusing the right arm, the left hand gently is placed on top of the right knee. Push into your left elbow, pick up your chest, and rotate it towards the ceiling, gazing over the right arm. So if you'd like to go a little bit further from here, the knee that's bent underneath you, so the left knee, you're going to draw it underneath you, grab a hold of the left foot with your right hand. And the option is always there. If you're looking for a little bit more of a stretch in the the right glute, you can gently straighten, keeping a slight bend in that right leg. Coming into our last few breaths here. Last 2 breaths. Fill up, inhale. And sigh it out. One more inhale. And exhale. Gently release the grip on the left foot. Extend the left leg. And draw the right knee Back in, keep the right knee bent. Readjust your hips on the mat. You can always bend both knees, bring your feet as wide as the mat. And allow your knees to knock in. And very gently from here, without moving your feet, just keep your feet as wide as the mat, dropping both knees to the right. And while you're here, pushing your hips forward so you feel that nice stretch in the left hip flexor. Come back through center, keep your feet as wide as the mat, and drop both knees to the left. Again, tucking your tailbone under to push your hips forward, feeling a nice stretch in the right hip flexor. Coming back through center. So for our final pose, we will be taking our legs up towards the sky, and this is a nice way to not only relieve fatigue in the legs, but it's a nice passive way to gently stretch the hamstrings. Push into your feet, pick up your hips, and wedge the block underneath you, underneath your sacrum. Drawing the knees in towards your chest. Might have to shimmy and fix the block as needed. And once you've found that nice stable spot where it feels like no effort, you can then bring your legs up. Bring your arms out to the side. And if for any reason this is uncomfortable to do on the block, you can do this with your legs up the wall. This is also a really nice pose if you find that you get up in the middle of the night and you can't fall back asleep. Sometimes I just swing my legs up against my headboard. Do a lot of standing. This is a nice way to counteract all of the standing and allow fresh oxygenated blood to run in the opposite direction. Last few breaths here. Last 2 breaths. Nice big inhale. Maybe point through the toes, reach towards the top of the mat. Inhale. And exhale, release. One more inhale. And exhale. Gently bend the knees. Just stay here for a moment. It might feel nice to cross the right ankle over the left kneecap and just kind of rock here by pushing the left knee into the right ankle. And switching sides, so crossing the left ankle over the right kneecap and using the right knee to pump the left foot towards the chest. Gently bringing both feet back to the mat, push into your feet, remove the block, set your hips back down onto the mat. We'll just take wind relieving pose here, drawing both knees back in towards your chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. Lift your head, neck, and shoulders. You can grab onto your ankles or wrap your arms around your knees, squeezing into a nice tight ball here. For 3. For 2. And on your next exhale, release. Extend the legs out wide, arms out wide for your Shavasana. Unless, of course, you want to take a reclined butterfly, you can bring the soles of the feet to touch if that feels good. I hope you enjoyed today's specialty and sequence for cyclists. And as always, if you have requests, please let me know. You can leave them in the comments section. I hope you enjoyed today's practice, and I will see you back here again soon. Have a wonderful day.